Hey, everybody, I'm here. I hope you enjoyed that little episode, and I promise I'm going to try to look at the chat properly today, but I've got a few people helping today and who have come in to say hello. First, we have Enzo.
Hello.
So Enzo's here today as well. And then we've got the beautiful, gorgeous, sweet, my friend. I love her. I miss her. Kassy. So Kassy's here today, and she's going to let us know your episode's tomorrow, isn't it, Kassy? Tomorrow?
Well, Sunday, which is tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's Saturday for me already, so it's okay.
We're getting wibbly wobbly already.
It's already wibbly wobbly. I hope everybody caught my little Doctor Who thing, but probably not. And then we have Crow, my little darling Crow. Are you here, Crow? Where have you gone, Crow? Crow. Well, while we're waiting for Crow.
Oh, I'm here. Can y'all hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm here. I'm alive.
He did that on purpose. He's like, no, I'm just going to let her bring Joe, and then I'll just interrupt the whole thing.
I had seen the episode also that I did with Heather, because I went with Heather to a haunted hotel. Turns out, though, Kassy, like you, sometimes when you're in the spot and you think, oh, I didn't get anything, once I listened, I sort of thought, oh, well, maybe I did get something. Like, I'm still in two minds, but there was definitely some weird stuff happened. I'm looking forward to seeing if Heather, when she does her episode, because she used her camera and she used different things, so I'd be interested to see what she might have picked up. Hey, Ali. Hey, Ron. Where's Ron?
That's cool.
Ron in the living room.
Oh, okay. Hi, Ron. Don't say hello. I shouldn't poke my tongue out. My nana used to tell me if I poked my tongue out or made a face, if the wind changed, my face would stay that way. Did anyone else get told that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've heard. Yeah.
Yeah, when I was little, if the wind changes, your face will be set that way. And you believe it as a kid. Hey, Kassy, because I know you're limited because you've got to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
But do you want to say anything about your episode coming up tomorrow? So people, I don't know how many people are here. I don't get a whole heap of people coming to watch me. Oh, I'm boring. I know I crow. But yeah, go, Kassy.
So Sunday, I normally release Thursdays, but because life got insane, I wasn't able to edit. So my episode's going out on Sunday now. It's part 3 of Old Hospital on College Hill. It's the final episode. And then we're on to Waverly Hills after that. It's at 9:00 Eastern. Or 9:30. I did 9:30 Eastern on Sunday. My brain, I have to still load it to YouTube. But basically it's like the wrap up of the full Old Hospital on College Hill series. I believe all of us are in that episode, like the collab that happened between Jason, Karen, Ron, and I. And is that episode. So that'll be it. And then in like 2 weeks from proper Thursday will be Waverly Hills. So
yeah, and I'm working on my Waverly Hills one now. So the history of Waverly Hills and what I managed to get on film, but yeah, I'll let Ron can correct me without spoilers, but somewhere down the track, Ron and Jason went off together as boyfriends do, and they disappeared for a little while, and I think that they caught something. So we'll see if they got anything. It's a joke, by the way, because Ron is Kassy's husband. Just in case, don't get confused, people.
No, they were boyfriends for that little bit of time.
Yeah, I think there was a fair bit of romance going on. They would disappear and giggle a lot. So yeah, but it's all good. It's all good. Hey, and Crow, your episode, I loved it. Did you see Crow's episode, Kassy?
I did. It was friggin' hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
thanks. Thank you, Karen.
Yeah. But wait, there's more.
No, that was great. When he said, whatever his name is, how he like did that low voice, that got me every time.
Yeah. Hey, I know you guys know what I'm like. I go from one subject to the other. But the other thing was, I have been watching this, you know, that I'm not going to go mental over it, but the alien thing, right? So there was the oh God, I've gone blank. Hearing, what's it called? Congressional hearing that we had to try and get safety for anybody who wants to come forward to talk about it. That's what that was. That wasn't to say, hey, aliens are real. That was to say, hey, if you want to come forward and talk about what's going on, you're safe. Nobody can hurt you. So that's what that is. And they've still got to work on that, I think. But Mexico is having one as well. And Graves, I can't think of his first name now, but the pilot that had basically combat, wasn't it, Enzo? Combat without, kind of not. He didn't fight the thing, but he had to get out of its way, sort of thing. So
they played around.
They played around a bit. Yeah,
he had to take evasive action, is the actual word for it.
Yeah, because I think it was he would have hit it or whatever.
Yeah, he was for. The reminder, he was the guy in the Atlantic in the F-18 that almost had a head-on collision with the cube with a sphere around it, or the sphere with the cube in it, however you want to put that. Where he had to take evasive action to avoid collisions. So.
Yeah, and
he also said that thing. He said you could tell. What was his words, man? He said you could tell that even though he had this awesome F-18, and he was the top ranking. He was as close as you can get to the real life Tom Cruise. He was the ace with a badass plane, and he said this plane had nothing on this thing at all. So pretty cool.
And mainstream media, English speaking, like whatever, will pick up and go, "Ooh, America's having a congressional hearing into UFOs." Woo. But yet Mexico's having one, and theirs is going to be huge. Theirs is going to be bigger than America's, because I don't think that they're going into whistleblower, like we're going to protect you. They're going into what evidence they have. So, Graves, Graves is going there. A channel I watch, Nerd Report, Lewis, and I've sent you some links, both of you, I think. He's a gorgeous man, but he's been looking into it. He found that, because it was Spanish TV. It was, Mexican television. But people sent him the news reports from their news reporting on the fact that I'm pretty sure it's September 12th. They're having a hearing. They don't call it congressional, but they're having a government. Basically, they've invited people from all over the world to come to Mexico, discuss what evidence they have, and just come to some, just kind of you show me yours and I'll show you mine type thing. So it's going to be past live. Yeah, I know. And we'll see how we go. So a Crow, the village, it's got a name now, which escapes me for the minute, so apologies. The village, they're indigenous, they're not backward, all right? They do have phones and stuff, but they are isolated. So, the reports came out where the government was supposed to have gone there. Enzo knows this because he read the thing. Guess what? Apparently they didn't. So these villagers have put out a video, and they're all holding up signs and stuff, and they're all saying basically, can the mainstream media from other countries please come to our village, because the government didn't come. They did not investigate. And the story they've told about the miners and the jetpacks is not true. Miners with jetpacks. And they said the police did come because they had to investigate the girl getting her throat like she had been attacked with a knife. They investigated that, but they didn't investigate what they were seeing. They just investigated that. Yeah, no worries, off they went. So these villagers are actually screaming out for people to please come. And because it's still going on. So I don't know what's happening there, but watch this space. So
it was kind of cool how they said they wear like space astronaut suits and stuff. That was pretty cool. And that their weapons are defenseless against them also.
They did describe them like they were wearing some kind of armor.
Yeah.
And, they described and this is where like the jetpack thing comes in, where the official government response, which they were not even there, was that they were illegal miners coming in to mine in that area to do that. And let's be honest, anything illegal that's going on those are the cartels in that part of the world. They're not going to come up with some elaborate thing of miners with jetpacks zipping around. Plus, jetpacks aren't really a thing, anyways. Not really.
No, not.
Yeah, jetpacks only last 30 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, very, very short window.
Yeah,
they're not going to go to that expense.
We think about it all.
They can just come in and it's like, beat it.
I want Kassy.
And that's
I want Kassy to give me her opinion. What do you reckon, Kassy?
I have no clue. I have not followed this. I didn't know anything. So I have no opinion on it because I don't know any. I mean, I literally don't. I don't know how I've missed all this news. But anyways,
I'll say
it's
this.
because you're busy studying. Oh, and by the way, before we go on, sorry, Joe, hold that thought. Can everyone, for Kassy, she passed her exams and she's
Oh yes, Kassy.
Hey, congratulations.
thank you.
Yeah. Hey, Kassy, going back to ghosties now. We'll stop with the aliens for a second because I'm sure I'll get back to them in 5 minutes. I'm terrible. I'll go from one thing. Because I was looking at the EVPs and stuff, and so now I've got a better understanding of them as well. The ITCs, EVPs, all that sort of thing. But that and people, if you want to see, if you don't know what Kassy and I are about to talk about now, go to Kassy's channel, Weeping Willow Paranormal, and she's got what was the episode? It was whose house was it?
Was it Cumberland Mansion?
Yeah, yes, the one where. Yeah, and I have listened to that. Enzo for Kassy went to. I'll let Kassy tell the story. It's her story to tell. Go, Kassy.
So I went to museum. So I'm from Ontario, Canada. So we went to a museum that was a house. So it was all like period pieces. Basically, people had donated. There were some pieces I believe that belonged to the family, but a lot of it was just people donated there. And basically, like it's just a normal museum. And I had asked to go to investigate it. They do have a study team that goes there, but we were like an outside team. Anyways, we went. There was like some stuff kind of like, but not anything crazy. But I was reviewing the footage. I caught an EVP. I think it's in part 3 because it's the last episode, I believe, that I did. And it was mimicking my voice, but like it was a man. It was the craziest, most loud EVP I think I've ever caught. And like I have it, like it's on my channel. And I also have it as a YouTube short, so that way you don't have to watch.
I've just posted the link to the short in the chat, guys, if you want to have a listen later or whatever, or click on it now so you've got it uploaded to listen later. But yeah, that was incredible. Like first I listened, and like Crow and Joe said, first time they listened, they tried to think, could it be the equipment doing something really weird? But it's a completely different voice. And so when you listen to her clip, you hear Kassy say whatever it is, let's pack up, let's go up and do whatever. But the voice mimics her, but it's a male voice, and it does have, when you listen to the voice compared to what Kassy says, it's not like it's somehow repeating exact to what she said. The words, yes, but not the inflection. It's kind of like yeah, let's go, and it's like a making fun of sort of thing, isn't it?
It was
kind of a
it was sort of like that, but at the same time, like agreeing.
Agreeing.
Yeah, it was pretty weird.
It was the weirdest thing I've ever captured, because I've caught EVPs. I tend to catch a lot on my camera audio. Like we've had the Backhouse one too, where this is weird because I am not one for apps, but in the Backhouse it was the app said, oh no, would it? No. So the app said West. In the moment it said West, the app, like the word bank app or whatever. And I just brushed it off because it didn't make sense. But then when I listened to the footage, it said the voice, like EVP, was which way. And then the app goes west or east, not west, east. So that was weird. So like that was weird. But that was other craziest. But the craziest was Cottonwood Mansion, hands down.
Yeah, but it's interesting though, as you're talking about that's one thing I've been thinking about myself a lot lately is like, we were talking about last night, as a matter of fact, on the live stream about Kassy's EVP she caught, and it's just mind-boggling because especially when you're friends, it's one thing when you see somebody else's channel you don't know, but when you personally know somebody and you know that they're 100% real, it makes you kind of think even more so, because like, wow, what what the crap is that? And also, y'all know Pasadena Paranormal. He got a good one at a historical site, and the female was like, Jared, you're mine, please. Well, it was really going off on it. It was amazing. She was very affectionate towards Jared. She said his name, and there was a lot of background noise, but you can hear her clearly talking through the thing. But I just wonder myself, like, is it interdimensional? Is it really just ghosts? Is it something else we're not even aware of yet?
As far as the tech that you guys use, do you use, like Joe, you held up just a basic voice recorder. Is that as good as anybody needs, or?
So I have two.
We've talked a little bit about different technologies. I was curious what works and what doesn't.
Like burst session EVPs, I will use a cheap recorder, but I'm careful about it. Like if I think I hear something, I'll tell people I think I hear something. Here's a listen. When I come back home though, and I put it through the computer, that's a different story. It's just whatever noise or whatever that made it sound like a voice of that. But I mean, I kind of have to treat it on the spot as if it could possibly be one. But I have two other Tascam recorders. They're good quality, but nothing super special. And then I picked this one up. And that one records at 32-bit float. And for those who don't know what that means is if I hear something and I want it louder, we call it a floor noise. The floor noise is like basically the ambient sound, and that won't raise when you're trying to make whatever you want to listen to louder. So the hiss does not get louder. Yes.
For my experience, my digital recorder, I hardly catch anything on it. It's always my camera audio.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know, just because I have the Sony can't X3. So I don't know I just never really had luck with the digital recorder. I just always catch, so it's always me reviewing footage is when I'm catching everything. So I don't know. And that's why I'm afraid to add an external mic, because I'm afraid to screw up what I've been catching, right? So I think I'm just gonna stay with what I have, and I don't care if people think my audio's crap. I don't care.
Love you, and I'll talk to you soon. And thanks. And Ron, I just want to let you know I thought of you the day before yesterday. I was in the supermarket.
Ooh.
I was in the meat section.
Ooh. Hell yeah.
And I saw a big lump of meat. What did you cook for us again?
Hold on, this is.
No, I'm blank. The thing
you saw a big piece of meat and you thought of Ron immediately.
A big lump of meat is what she said.
Oh.
I'm flattered.
No, what's it called, Ron? And it was really yummy.
A brisket.
I saw a brisket. And do you know what I thought of at the time while I was in there? I was almost tempted to call you from the supermarket to say, oh, my God, Ron, how do I do this again? Because I was going to buy a brisket. But then I thought,
I should call them.
Yeah, I should call them.
So, but I did think of you, Ron, because, Ron's a really good cook, guys. He makes the best chicken wings I've ever tasted. And he also cooks a really good brisket. So,
Ron's stuff tastes real good.
He does. Oh, we haven't tasted it. You've only seen it.
True. I'm hoping to taste it one day, Karen.
Jason's tasted it. You can ask Jason what it tastes like.
I told Ron one day I was going to make sweet love to him when I see him. So
I still want to find out what Jason and Ron got up to when they disappeared at Waverley Hills, Waverley Sanitarium up in there. They just disappeared. They were very happy, and I think they were in their hamburger. And weren't you in your suit, in your costumes when you disappeared?
Hamburger outfit?
No, that was at the end.
They wore Enzo. They had a hamburger. Jason dresses as a cheeseburger, and Ron was a piece of bacon. And they did a photo shoot together, and they had a bromance going on for sure.
Okay, We're gonna go before Ron gets dug a hole more. So it's okay.
Pleasure
Alright,
meeting you.
guys.
Good luck.
Bye.
You too, Enzo.
Bye.
Classic aluminum foil does work. Yeah.
Yep, it does. And I keep forgetting about this, but I'm gonna use this more often. I'm gonna shield it a little more. But if you put a like a spirit box in here,
Yeah.
it'll shut out all the radio stations. And if something, I'm not saying if something comes through, it's a spirit. I'm just saying it's gonna cut the chances big time.
It's a stronger local signal that it's going to be putting out versus picking up a radio station that's 10 miles away.
So this shuts out radio stations. It should not. Radio stations should not come through a spirit box if you put it in this box. Same thing like an EVP recorder. We can put an EVP recorder in here. We can test the theory. Are they using some sort of like an EMF or whatever to communicate? Let's find out.
They go dun dun dun
Hi,
dun
guys.
dun,
Cry.
and then
Hello.
oh hey, Side Eye guy, what's up, man?
Yeah. Crow's got a man crush on you, Side-Eye.
Well, that makes it uncomfortable in here.
Yeah. What do I say?
all this sexual tension.
The frequency is of a spirit coming through is going to be above the other. It's a
Sorry, someone just did something funny. Oh, maybe, hang on. That could have been one of Side-Eye's children in the background.
Mhm.
Oh, you can hear, can you?
Oh, it's cute. Is that the
She
little
lost-
one that
Yeah, it might be. It might become a problem later.
Oh, that's all right.
I thought it was an EVP. I was about to get excited.
Oh.
No, some things more scary than ghosts.
Yeah.
I might be able to hear a little bit more if I add some of this. So.
So did the tooth fairy strike last night?
The tooth fairy did strike last night. My daughter lost her first tooth yesterday.
Oh.
It was very cute, and so she came all excited into the room. I wasn't on the live, but I was listening, and she's just sounds like a little dolly. So cute. I get that. So
You can get somebody on the phone, like whoever's doing the Estes method, right? They got earbuds in, right? And nobody's going to see the earbuds because guess what? The earbuds are going to be covered. Now, obviously, you guys can tell I have one on, but without these, they do make them without the wire, right? Who's going to know? So while they're doing the Estes method, and they got their headphones on,
yeah, they could be
they can
listening
hear.
to
They can still, in a way, communicate with one another by having a phone on, and somebody will be like, "Hey, can you tell me your name?" And then the person who's doing the session's like, "William." And then, oh wow, ooh, that was direct. What happened to you? I was murdered, because the other person can hear through the earbuds.
hear the question.
Yeah, always alone.
Yeah.
We gotta get Side Eye. We gotta get Side Eye guy in here, man. He's been here for 10 minutes, hasn't said a word.
I know.
Well,
I'm
Okay.
just listening in.
yeah, he's just listening. When I say I want to go to Washoe Club alone, I'm not saying it's a challenge to go there alone. I'm not worried about going there alone because I'm not scared of the Wash. There's nothing to be scared of. It's just an old building. I could go there, but I want to take the dog because of that reason, because dogs, that's an experiment I want to do. I want to see if the dog reacts to anything in real time. Like, for example, I would have loved to have had the dog with me when I went to the Washoe Club and I walked into the ballroom part and got that electricity thing and the smell of the pipe at the same time. Like, that was weird. And it only lasted 10 seconds, like not long. But Jason's got it on footage, so it wasn't long, maybe 10 seconds. I would have loved to have had a dog with me to see if the animal had a reaction to that. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I would like to go back there, not to be alone because I'm scared or anything. Have you been? You haven't been to the Sally house, have you yet, Joe?
No, I've heard about it when I was like a teenager, and my understanding was nobody at that point in time, like in the 90s, said that it was a little girl named Sally who died in the house. It was just a demon that would pretend to be Sally. Then something happened. The story changed. I don't know what it was.
Someone could go and have a look at this. You should watch my thing on the history of the Sally house first, and then watch Sam and Colby go to the Sally house, right? But
don't put me through that.
There's stories that say that, and forgive me because her name escapes me at the moment, but a little old lady lived in that house for years, all right, and then eventually she went to live in a nursing home where she passed away. But she was very much a loner. She still went to church on Sundays. Her family loved her. She was a grandma. She was a family lady, but she kept to herself, you know. But a story came out that this little old sweet lady worshipped the devil in the basement. Okay, she summoned a demon. Sorry, no, she didn't. What a horrible story to make up about this sweet little old lady. So before that family moved into that home, there was never a Sally, there was never a demon, and in fact, there was never even a ghost. So
yeah, I mean, if you've done a video on it, you probably know the history a lot better than I do. From what my understanding of the more recent history from that place is that apparently a little girl named Sally died. She had some sort of needed a doctor came into the house and she was pronounced dead or something along those lines.
Yeah, that's the part that's not true. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they've kind of come out and said like that. There's no evidence that a girl even named Sally ever stood foot in that house. It's just complete urban legend.
It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. The doctor, the story behind that, the Sally house. I'm not going to do my whole episode. The Sally house was built by Mr. Finney. Mr. Finney and his family lived there. Mr. Finney died there. Like tons of the Finneys died in the house, and Agnes Finney died in the house, and her husband died in the house. So people died there. A baby died there. Like people died in the house. Okay, but it was the Finney family, and Charles Finney, who ended up being the mayor of Atchison, where the Sally house is. Charles Finney was a doctor. He was a doctor, but he never lived in the Sally house. He lived next door. There's a house right next door to it, a red brick house. That was his house. He never practiced medicine in his house. He had rooms in the Atchison city, and he also practiced at the hospital, which was 4 minutes up the road. Never, ever, ever did a little girl called Sally get taken to the Sally house ever, because a practicing doctor never lived in the Sally house. Point blank, end of story, done. So I did watch someone's episode about the Sally house, the Australian investigators, and I got really angry and I couldn't watch it because they were going on about the connection between the Sally house and the Vasilla axe murderer's house, just because they were both 508 in a started with Norm. I'm like, these people.
To add to that, though, real quick, it's funny because there was a certain individual who did a reaction video to a reaction video. It was like, oh, these places wouldn't do that because when investigators go in there and find out it's not true, guess what? They're out of business. Yet here we have the Sally house.
Yeah, Side Eye's going to say something in a minute. But yeah, ghosts.
No, I was just going to say, like, quickly going on what Crow just said there, that guy who said that, I just thought that's particularly funny because I think he said, along the lines of the argument he was trying to make is that, if it's not haunted, people won't go there. I'm like, you tell me a Twin Paranormal video or a Sam and Colby video where they go there and it's not haunted. You show me one video.
Yeah.
Every single place they go to, it's not just haunted, it's infested with demons or skinwalkers or like everything. So
I got scrap. Yeah, go.
No, I was going to say that I was going to do a video on in the early days of my channel where I was going to do Twin Paranormal go to the Sally house, and then it was so boring that I just canned it, and then I did a different. I decided to do a different video on Twin Paranormal. But during that time, I did a bit of research in there, and everything you said is like spot on. But one of the other funny things I just urge anyone to do is just read the Google reviews on the Sally house, because there's loads of Google reviews, and it's It's so funny. Like, it's just like tons of people just say this is just complete nonsense. It costs a fortune. It's a waste of money. It's just a dank little house in the middle of nowhere. Like, it's got a musty smell to it. It's like, you know what I mean? It's just really funny.
I got gonorrhea from the Sally house.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
That's the thing. I'd like to go to the Sally house. And this is the reasons I'd like to go. So this will show you how crazy I am. I want to go to the Sally house. Stay there 3 nights. And because I've researched the Finney family and I've kind of fell in love with the Finneys, like they were an adorable family. I've noticed the front yard is really yucky. So if I was there for a few days, I'd like to go out the front, tidy up the garden a bit and maybe plant a few little pretty flowers. I'd like to get some home delivered. I'd like to invite some friends over. Come on, let's have a sleepover. I'd like to just investigate politely and see if I can speak to Agnes, who lived there all of her life. She lived in that house all of her life until she passed away, and she died in that house. Agnes is the person I'd like to see if is still there. I don't think the little baby who died there would be there. I would certainly hope not. It's possible that Michael Finney, the man who built the house, he passed away in that house. He might be there. Agnes's husband passed away in that house. He might be there. I would like to politely sit there, do something pretty with the house and say sorry to whatever spirits might be in the house. Say so sorry that people come into your home with such disrespect. And
it's like, okay, do I have to include elves and druids and all these other things? Well, actually, you kind of do when you're chatting with these
fairies
folks.
Are real.
That's part of their thing.
Fairies. I believe in elves.
True. I should have said druids.
I believe in Santa.
The bag is bigger on the inside.
I'm just trying to.
I've genuinely got family in Ireland who believe in fairies. They actually do believe in fairies.
Oh, yeah.
I was just going to say those fairies. That's the only thing that, and again, that's fairies aren't created by God or the Bible. The thing that Side-Eye will know what I'm talking about is in Ireland. There's places where, and I've mentioned this before, places where the Irish will absolutely not put a road through, will not build on, will not touch because the fairy folk there. They've got another name though. They're called
Iceland is Iceland is the same way.
They don't really. They don't believe in leprechauns, but they believe they wholeheartedly believe in fairies. But like when you, sorry, I can't say now.
Oh, you were talking about the fairies.
When you kind of like get them to when they really talk about this, like, and they use that actually, like my older relatives, they believe that the fairies could well be human, like humanoid, and they can mimic humans. So it's a little bit like, well, then how the bloody hell can you disprove that? It's like, when they could just, so they don't believe in like Tinkerbell sort of size. They think that they could just mimic everyday people.
Yeah, and the Fae. Thank you, Maisie Rose. That was the actual word I was thinking of. Fae.
Yeah,
I know elementals, but elementals can be touched with the Fae. But look, never seen a fairy. But I just kind of think if you base that more on it's possibly just something. Because I believe in nature, and I believe I'm more maybe back 1,000 years ago I would have been a pagan. I just think it's more about the earth and what could be within the earth and our atmosphere and our earth that could be something that we've done. And I don't mean Bigfoot. I just mean things.
Even in Fae myth, there's good ones, that protect the forest and care for the trees and watch after babies and things like that. And there's evil side where they make baby sounds that lure you into the woods to kill you, and things like that.
Ill babies.
A million different stories and folk tales and religions that are regional. That there are good and bad entities all over the whole planet, and it's just a matter, I think, of interpretation over I would kind of think as a universal concept, okay, if there are good entities and bad entities, they'd all fall into specific categories. And yeah, there may be multiple names for good ones and multiple names for bad ones. Still, I would think that are these a social construct? Of hey, you kids, make sure you clean up after yourselves, or the spoon licker elves from Iceland will come and get you, which is the thing that because you left dirty plates in the sink, kind of a thing.
I just say to my kids, make sure you clean up after yourself, or I'll kick your ass. That's usually enough.
And there's that, where who's to say 1,000 years from now, clean your table or Karen will come and get you. That kind of thing.
Oh my goodness. I said something dreadful's happened to them. And they said, what, Mummy? I said, they've lost the ability to use their imagination. I said, so don't worry. You worry about them. I said, one day it'll happen to you too. You won't be able to use your imagination anymore too. And you will believe that Santa Claus isn't real. So that's what I used to say to them.
Whoa, what?
What? Well, have you lost your
Santa's
imagination?
Not real?
Well, I still believe in Santa. I think
he is
Santa's
Enzo. He is. Don't worry, he is real.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
I'm
real.
pretty sure Santa is real because I've seen Santa and I've seen the reindeer's shadows of their hooves on my roof.
I know Santa Claus is real because I've made out with Mrs. Claus before.
She does get around. That's not part of
you
the
won't be
lore
getting a present this year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try meditating and being outside in my backyard, looking up at the cosmos, and see if I can speak to the aliens through telepathic, which I don't have a telepathic ability, so I don't know. Well, I don't know, so I'll try and find out. So if I do get taken by aliens for any reason, I'll ask them to find you, Enzo.
I can't wait to see a satellite dish come out of Karen's ass.
That's only in South Park, wasn't it? Was that South Park?
Yeah.
I'm in trouble. Beth and Loz are on to me in the chat.
Oh, yeah, I just saw that.
They're all over you in the chat.
Loz has said side
They're on to me.
In the chat. I know, Beth. He's got funny eyes. Oh, I have to ask you, actually, Side-Eye, in your little animations there, when you shine the torch on the guy in the sheet, that cracks me up. You probably haven't seen it, Enzo, but Side-Eye's got a show where he does just making fun of other channels, really. It's not really debunking. It's just kind of like a reaction video to the BS in these things. And he's just got some animation that he uses, and in one of them he'll shine a torch and it'll be a ghost, and then he shines a torch and its little legs sticking out underneath.
I thought Karen was going to say, oh, he debunks. I'm like, oh, I got to make a video on Karen now.
No,
you be you. Your audience will find you.
Have a good night.
No, Dan Tex. Dan Tex is always here. He's lovely. Oh, what's that? Sorta Rican says, I'm into Side-Eye. He's to show his awfulness in to show his awfulness in plain sight. Gonna double check window locks. Oh. I don't think Side-Eye's going to break windows. No. Joe.
What?
3 hours? Crikey. I'm the one
wobbly.
Wibbly. I'm amazed anyone's still watching. Again, to anyone who's been here from the start and heard my rants, I'm sorry if I insulted any of you. I don't mean to.
I don't think honestly, the chat should be on fire for some of the stuff we said, which says a lot more about the chat and than it does about us. Is basically it's saying we're not necessarily wrong in a lot of the things we said.
Yeah.
There's a yin and a yang, and there's a pluses and minuses and all of that. It's still a matter of perspective. I feel it's
I feel so much better, and it's just because people in the chat, even though some of you I have met, some of you I haven't, even though just that kindness that comes out of people in the chat saying nice things and being nice to each other and supportive to each other. Like, we all know people in the chat that are unwell at the moment, and going through some things like Foxfire was on earlier, and she probably left because she was stressed, anxious. So I'll send her a message later. But we all know that people are going through things and we pay attention. So that's why I like this chat. It might only be small. There might only be a few people watching, but we support each other. And that's why I was glad Side-Eye came in to say hello too, because he's new to the community. And it's been really nice. There's been a lot going on, as Joe would know, in the debunker side of things, where people have been really nasty. Like really nasty to Side-Eye, to Beardo, to The Shape, Purple, a whole heap. They've just been really, really nasty. But what's come out of that, the exact opposite effect to what these nasty people might have wanted to have happen. They've come together as a group and working together and showing each other support, and boom, love. It's just love. It's just like a little heart.
Yeah, it's been... Yeah, I agree. It has brought a lot of us together. Actually, you know, I actually just want to say on that as well. Although, like, because like I understand a lot of my content could be quite. I can get a bit cutthroat with other people, so I don't like to like victimize myself by saying like I'm getting bullied or anything like that, because I realize like a lot of the jokes I make can be a little bit on the harsher side of things. I get that. My attitude now is like I feel like the first big, yeah, I kind of feel like I've only been doing this. I'm coming up to 6 months now, 6 months old for the channel. I kind of feel like I've been thrown in the deep end quite a bit with what the twins went through with that, and now that's all done. Like, you know, whether it be that Haunted Nation guy or what, any other nasty comment, couldn't care less. Absolutely fine. And actually, what happened this morning, because the last video I made was on Proving Demons, and I had The Shape, Beardo, and many other people in the comments. Like when I said I was going, when they found out I was doing a video on Proving Demons, warning me, like, be careful. Andrew from Proving Demons can be, you know, a bit nasty. He will probably copyright claim your content. He was particularly nasty to Beardo in a live stream apparently, and all the rest of it. And he actually left a comment on my video just saying how much he liked it. So like, you know, there might be some nastiness going around, but then like even the people that I was expecting there to be some nastiness and some friction or some backlash was like, yeah, I liked it. It was a good, you know, and he said he liked it just very quickly, and I said, thank you very much. I'm glad, you know, you didn't take it, you know.
Oh, you're talking about
Andrew from Proving Demons, yeah, the main guy from Proving, yeah. Sorry, yeah, him.
Okay. And
so he did, and then I said that, and then he gave a longer message of sort of saying like, you know, he thought I was. I've got to admit, I didn't think I was that respectful, but he believed I was respectful. And he was like, you know, you didn't make fun of my appearance and all the rest of it or anything like that. And he saw it as a roast and he thought it was funny. Yeah. And his partner also left a comment on that same thread saying that, yeah, she liked it too. And I was like, okay, like, you know, there's some nasty ones on some side, but even the surprisingly, the ones that we think are nasty can be all right. There's still a lot of learning curves for me to do and all the rest of it.
Oh, you're doing great. Like, I love them. I giggle. But it's different humor, isn't it? It's different humor, but it's very much a roast. So Americans get what a roast is.
It is a roast, yes. I think I never really thought of it as a roast before he said it, actually. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's a roast.
But I have been so happy, although disheartened by the toxicity that's been in the debunking thing, and it's mainly coming from people making comments. Also, like I've seen a lot of people making comments in certain Facebook feeds, etc. And I'm like, do you even know what? Like, stop insulting people. And it's not the debunk; it's the community. Some of the people in the community, and I'm like, whoa. But I've seen Beardo and Crow and Side-Eye Guy and what's his name? I've gone blank. The P word. he had a rant the other day. What's his name? Purple. And seen them all come together, and they've shown each other love. But in doing that, it's really put it up the guys that are trying to make trouble for them. It's just been lovely to see, and I think it's been lovely for them to actually also get the feedback from people in the chats and the people that watch to say, hey, don't let it get to you. We love what you do. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Because obviously they're upsetting the people that are making this fake content. That's just my point. But I'm just been really happy to see such love being shown in a community where it needs to be shown.
That's the
I'll say as well, with the debunking community, like I'm brand new to all of it, really. The channel's only like 6 months old, but like people have only ever really known about me for like the last 2 months, I would say. And when I got on like the Shape and Beardo's radar, and then they gave me shout outs, and then it kind of all got. And so even though I'm very green to it all, they were so warm and accepting and helpful. Like, you know, I hardly spoke to those guys much at all at the point when I asked them to give me help with that Paranormal Files video where they all did the phone calls, leaving the voicemails. And
that was good.
Like, if it wasn't such a warm and welcoming community, I wouldn't have had the gall to ask him. I would have been worried that who's this arsehole coming along asking us this stuff. You know, he's only been here 10 minutes, but because they were just so cool, and I've talked to quite a few of them privately as well, and they're just nice guys to talk to. I felt I could do that, and it was great because it made the video so much better. Without it, it would have been an okay video, but with them, it made it, I think, a very good video. So I'm very fortunate, and like they are great. Like they're all great, and they're all different as well. Like everyone's got a very different. Like Purple and I get along really well. We chat quite a bit on Messenger, but his style of content, and to be fair, it's going to be a bit different now when he comes back on. But even before, his style of content was completely different to mine, like polar opposite almost to me. But we get along really well, and he's been great.
Lots. But yeah, I just thought, now Enzo comes in and chats and stuff.
I'm American. I don't know what these metric heaps and leaps and I don't know.
But I don't know. And like I say, Side-Eye, and I was just pleasantly surprised to find out that Side-Eye's actually not too far from me. I thought, oh my God, finally someone near where I live.
Down the road, really.
Literally down the road. Yeah,
that's coincidental, isn't it?
It was a coincidence, but yeah, I don't know. I just find that some days when I'm feeling down, all I have to do is go find somebody's live to watch or whatever, and it's not every day I feel down. Most of the time I'm okay. I'll say goodbye to Side-Eye because he has to leave. And thank you for coming.
Thanks very much, guys.
No,
thanks, Enzo. Thanks, Joe. Thank you, Karen. Thanks, everyone in chat.
Bye.
Later, bud.
All the best. Cheerio.
No worries. I don't think in Australia the only laws, I'm pretty sure, the only thing that we've got like cryptid is our version of Bigfoot, which is we call a yowie.
Yeah.
The yowie. I don't think we've got anything else. We've got enough interesting looking animals like koalas and kangaroos and platypuses, and platypus has got a funny look to it. I don't think we need cryptids here. I think that's the only thing we've got, Loz, isn't it? It's just the so-called yowie. Do you still love me? Do you still love me?
Yes. Yes, I do.
All right, then you can go. All right, go eat. I'm gonna get off soon too because I realise it's 2:15 and I haven't eaten today.
Take it easy, Joe. Fantastic conversation tonight. It was great.
Yeah, it was. It was awesome.
Thank you, Joe.
Later, guys. Love you all.
Love ya. Bye. I'll say goodbye to you quickly when I hop off. And look out for aliens. Keep an eye on Mexico because they're coming up with a big thing. So if you're interested in finding out what information the Mexicans have, I'm pretty sure it's 12th of September. I'll double check. I'll be watching.
Yep.
As for ghosties, I'll continue searching. and we'll see what happens. And one day I will get to Ireland and see if I can find some fairy people. I'm sure they won't care to meet me unless I sit there with my little crown on. What do you reckon, Tanya? Sit there in like a fairy dress with wings. But I don't think that's what they look like. And anyway, I'm going. I love you all, and thank you so much for being here. And I'll talk to you next week, and keep an eye out for more bobbleheads and stuff like that. I love you all. See you later. Have a great weekend. Bye.